Before I resume sharing my usual fitness content, I want to take a moment and acknowledge the social political turmoil that we are seeing unfold before our eyes in dominant society. Stick to your fitness content. People don't follow you for your political views. They follow you for your fitness content. That's some of the comments I heard from some people over the past year. And bear with me for a moment because I want to share how those are very short-sighted takes on what I do and who I am. As a spiritual entity, I came here for a human experience. So I have deep reverence for the collective of what is the human spirit. But to see so casually, so accepted by some, the death and killing in a violent manner on social media for millions to see, that state sanctioned, that is clearly and unequivocally, from my view, unjustified deadly force. It's very disheartening to watch. As someone who knows what it's like to lose people you love from police brutality, or to be missing and murdered, to never have their case be solved, it's a very disheartening feeling. So to see that, I open my heart and extend my heart to anyone who loses their life in that manner. Is death the norm? Yes. There's one thing that's guaranteed in this life, is that each of us sometime will die and transcend back to the spirit world, back to the greater field of consciousness. That's one thing we can guarantee. For some of us, it'll happen far down the line. But for some of us, the time might be near. We never know. For some, it may be peaceful. For some, it may be tragic. Like it was what we have seen over social media. So I must take the time to acknowledge with my whole self, my spiritual, my emotional, my intellectual, my physical self, to acknowledge the turmoil that we are seeing and have been seeing since the birth of this country. Because again, what I have is a deep reverence for the human spirit. No matter your social political ideology, no matter your sexual orientation, your religious preference, your ethnicity, your gender identity. I have a deep respect for what you are as a human being, as a spirit consciousness who came here looking for a human experience. And unfortunately, some of us, when we get here, we are caught up by this world, grief, and the pain, and we forget the purpose of our existence here. As a community health educator in Indigenous country, I have a great passion for enhancing our human experience, for acknowledging the fire that we carry and acknowledging the fire that others carry. With that are life ways associated with taking care of our fire as human beings. With my own experience, watching unresolved grief cause all of the disease of modernity that we're experiencing today: addiction, depression, anxiety, metabolic disorders, and aggressive behaviors, violent behaviors, all the social ills. To watch those and to watch it tear families and people apart, communities and societies, is why I got on the journey to help share how to live a good way of life. Growing up on the res, I would hear the elderly people, when they would depart, they would say something to each other. They would say, sababke. They always told us it meant to take it easy. Take it easy in life, slow down, so you don't hurt yourself, so you don't hurt other people. And to think about the outcome of your actions. I would also hear that term used when it meant to physically slow down. As men, when I was younger, I was fortunate to be a part of our men's circle, still to this day. Back then, we did more things together. But when we would be working or doing anything, and when we were doing things too fast, somebody would say, sababke, slow down, so the rest can catch up, so we can stay together, because that way we are stronger. And I thought I knew what those meant, not until later on, into my early 40s, after having 2 kids, soon to be another, and to be married to my wife. Then I understood the importance of slowing down and taking it easy. That's why today I practice not rushing to come to social media to share my knee-jerk responses and hot takes. That I must take time to process what I'm seeing and and what I'm feeling so I can respond in the best manner for my well-being, and to think about how my words and actions may have a ripple effect for good or bad on those around me. I've been far enough on my healing and wellness journey in my quest for Indigenous self-actualization that I don't need anyone to tell me what I'm seeing. I don't need anyone to tell me what to think about what I'm seeing in dominant society, or how to think about it, or how to feel about it. Therefore, I don't need anyone to tell me how to respond. Other instances in recent times, I did. But not what I'm seeing now. I know what I'm seeing in dominant society. Therefore, I don't need you or anyone out there to tell me how to think, feel, or act. Nor do I feel the need to rush to be heard. I don't feel the need to be seen or to be validated for my views, but rather I share because maybe you or someone else out there is having a hard time processing what they're seeing, and they might need some guidance. That's why I share. Also, within my views, I don't care if people agree with how I view, how I process, and how I respond. Because once again, I don't need the validation from anyone. When you followed, I didn't ask you to follow. That was your choice. There's a lot of people I follow, who I'm associated with, who I talk to, who we have differing social political views. And we can look past those because there are other things that we share that are also powerful. Because we choose to celebrate our similarities in what we want out of this human experience. And I believe that's where the strength lies. In human beings, we are stronger together. We are stronger when there is diversity. We are stronger when there is respect. Si has urit, have respect. Was hayechu for everything. For everyone. We are stronger that way. It is because my empathy and compassion that I have been successful in my human experience. Success at my standards, not at dominant society's standards. And any shortcomings I have were produced by the times where I felt and was overcome by apathy, greed, fear, lust, anger, and resentment. Now, as an Indigenous person, we have unique social, cultural, spiritual, and political entities within the varying degrees of law and authority and jurisdiction in our country is federal, state, and tribal. Tribal government, we have our own laws, as well as federal oversight. Not too many groups in this country understand federal overreach more than us Native people. We've been dealing with it since the beginning, the founding of your country. I sit on the Land Management Board, the vice chair for Salt River, where I am from, the Onkakamweerd Oatam, vice chair, Salt River Land Management Board. There we have community ordinances that we abide by, bylaws. We have a community constitution. We also have code of federal regulations that we abide by and oversee everything we do. Political policy shapes and impacts the well-being of people, families, and nations. And again, not too many people understand that more than us Indigenous people. As today, we are still healing from the reeling impacts of historic intergenerational trauma. We are in a healing phase, putting together, once again, our cultural identity, our collective consciousness of indigeneity, which again, it's a sphere of political stance, economic, culture, social, and spiritual, all one and the same. Those entities inform my stance. It informs my work as a community health educator and the framework that we use as a lifestyle intervention model to help heal our people and to prevent the onset of diseases of modernity that were virtually non-existent prior to colonialism. It's called the 7 circles. Our foodways, sleep, movement, sacred space, connection to land, ceremony, community. 7 basic areas that played a role in allowing our people to thrive on the lands that we did. And those 7 areas are allowing us to thrive and survive the continual colonial process that we are all watching together continue in dominant society. Those 7 areas affect our spiritual, our physical, emotional, and intellectual states. Movement is just one of those circles. Fitness, exercise, what you see me post about mostly. But it's probably 15% of of what I do. It's only the shiny thing that might get your attention to hear more of this. So you see, politics is my lane. In our world here, we think, we feel, and we act. Through our 6 senses, we take in stimulus, input, the gift of seeing, the beauty you see out there in the world. That's what we should choose to see. But sometimes we see tragic things that cause a physiologic response in our mind, our heart, our spirit. So we should continue to seek out, to see beauty in that healing process. Gift of smell. Smell is powerful. Smell can take you back, trigger things in you, beautiful memories, but also tragic things at times. But in this journey, we can seek out those smells that ground us. On the land, the smell, the pollination of the land, fall crisp leaves, the cool air, smelling the foods that bring you back home of the land, the smell of your smudge, the smell of campfire, the smell of someone you love. We should seek those out in this healing journey. Also related to it, our sense of taste. Tastes that bring us back, tastes that bring us joy, but tastes that nurture us. Tastes that inform us that what we are eating is nutrient dense. For you native people, the ancestral flavors of your people gives you that ancestral experience with the aroma of it cooking, regrounds you. That sense of hearing. Music that takes you back, reminds you of people, of good times. Music that makes you feel relaxed, calm, let you know that you'll get through it. The beautiful sounds of acoustic music in a hall with far-reaching reverb. Healing frequencies of sound that can calm you. The sound of people's voices in unison singing is powerful. I love that. No matter if it's music from the other side of the world, the frequency is something all human beings can be resonated by. For you native people, the sound of the drum, the heartbeat of Mother Earth, the high pitch of those high notes, the low, deep tones. For those of you who sing that way, the sound of our flute, of our rattles, the many different drums that strike, send out frequency in vibration that can reground us to align our frequency to that of Mother Earth. So we should always seek out those beautiful sounds to help with our healing journey, to help ground us. Our sense of touch. Touch we all need. When we were infants, when we first came from our mother, we needed healing, warm touch from your mother or whoever your caretaker was at that time. And we still need that today, despite what some people think. Healing touch. Also, the gift of getting out on the land and feeling the different textures, the moist earth, the fluidness of water, feeling wind on you, healing sunlight, the morning light, the last bits of dusk in the wintertime to come into our eyes to help us prepare for nighttime, to feel the hot, the cold air, the healing touch of someone you love, or the healing touch of someone who is to help you recover. We should always seek out those experiences of touch that will help with our healing journey. Especially for those of you who may have experienced some harm, injury, and abuse at the hands of somebody, maybe somebody you loved. Seek out the beauty of touch that is there. The gift of flavor. The nourishing foods that we take in that help with our human experience. The nourishing flavors of sweet, sour, salty. The nourishing flavors that tell us what food is right for us or what isn't right for us. But to repalate our sense of taste with the natural flavors, so we are not overstimulated ever through any of our senses. So seek out the beauty of taste that helps us with our relationship to foods. Our sense of smell. The smell of fire, whether it be summer or fall time, that grounds us. The smell, the aroma of cooking for you Indigenous people. The smell of your medicines. The smells of your food or the ancestral experience to reground you. Smells powerful. We should always seek out healing smells that ground us in our healing journey. The sixth sense, your spiritual intuition, your gut feeling, your awareness, your extrasensory perception, our spirit that is in us and all around us, simultaneously in everything that is around us. Because we are spirit, we are consciousness, we are God, we are creation. You are light. Our sixth sense brings that together. In this journey of this life experience, when we are seeking out that healing, that grounding, we should look to those six senses. That's your framework for venturing this human experience, this physical 3D world, to seek those out. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That's what your forefathers wrote when they founded this country. Millions of indigenous people were disenfranchised and disempowered and had their land dispossessed for those ideas, for that concept of freedom. So don't waste it. Even as an indigenous person who recognizes my unique social, political, spiritual, and cultural stance, I honor the Constitution. As one who regularly concealed carries a firearm and who loves to enjoy the liberty of being able to speak my mind, I am one who values the Constitution and understands my civil liberties. And I expect them to not be infringed upon. As Native people in tribal government, and when we are in the court of law, we leverage the Constitution and the rights and responsibilities the federal government has to honor the treaties of tribes. That is why we value it. On the coin, on your currency, there's the baag, the eagle. One claw he carries the branch, and the other he carries 13 arrows. Concept that your forefathers had borrowed to represent their 13 colonies. When those arrows are bundled together, they are harder to be broken. We are stronger together. And the people of the country should remember that. Which is why we should be celebrating our similarities and be willing to work together in solidarity to take back what has been taken from all of us as people, to undo the polarization and divisiveness, to show that we still honor the human spirit. That's my view on this. Keep your fire strong.